in the middle of our embroidery applique lesson on the Bernina 880, and I'm actually using one of the blocks from our Embroidery Essentials online course, and it is the butterfly, and I'm going to teach you what happens and how to fix a broken thread. If you're interested in this course, we do have links below in the description where you can check it out and really master your machine in the shortest amount of time. So I've just stopped myself in the middle of this embroidery design. No, I didn't have a thread break, but if you have experienced it and felt like a panic attack, I want to show you what you're looking for. So the machine always knows what stitch it's on, and at any given time you can move forward or back within a design and kind of correct anything that went wrong. If you ran out of bobbin, you've had that message too, where it comes up and you put a new bobbin in, and then you need to back up a few stitches just so you don't end up with a gap. And so many people ask me when they first get an embroidery machine is, well, I don't want to like have that overlap, but I'm like, well, the thing is you're not going to see it. So I'm going to show you right here, and let's just lift up the presser foot just a little bit. You can kind of see that we're on one of those stitches, and if we look on screen, we can see exactly where we are. Now, normally, when the machine has a thread break, there is a sensor that's going to come up, and it's going to take you to kind of the thread broken screen, and here's where you're getting taken. So there's a little function here. It's got a little thread with a little X in the middle. So as I touch it, you're going to be brought to a screen. And I love this on a Bernina. You actually get a screen of both the design with the location where you are and a zoomed in picture of the design area that you're on. So here is actually something I'm going to have you keep an eye on. Right now it says 0. So if you had a thread break, and by the time the sensor actually stops the machine, you're going to probably be a couple stitches past where you need to actually start. And again, we don't want to leave that gap. So there's two things. Number one, you'll be using the knobs that you've been using for stitch width and length or moving within the embroidery area. But notice that if I turn the top knob, it will take us 1 or 2 stitches forward if I turn it to the right, and then if it goes into a minus number, it is taking me in back from where it stopped. And at any given time, if I don't know where I got myself to, I can touch the little box with the yellow outline, and it'll take me back to where it stopped naturally. So yes, we are going to probably most of the time be moving backwards in our design and overlapping anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 inch worth of stitching. Now, I mentioned this second knob here will actually do something else. Now, if you really had to travel back a lot, as I turn the straight stitch or stitch length knob, it's going to jump 50 to 100 stitches at a time. So if you accidentally do this, you're way back a lot further than you realized you were. And again, touching that will bring you back to where you are. Now, right now, as that hoop moved, it kind of took a little bit of our thread with us, and there's this little extra loop. So I have been known to come up to the spool and gently pull backwards on the thread until that loop disappears. So that could be an option for you, just so you don't have to like mess with that little guy. But what I am going to do is I'm going to zoom in on the design itself, back up a couple stitches, and then we're going to restart where overlapping part of the design. So here we go. I'm turning the top knob just a couple stitches just to see if I'm back over where I am. I might even take my hand wheel and turn it down into the fabric just to see if I've come far enough back. And actually you do, and might be able to see there's a little piece of the white bobbin thread, a little loop of it that has kind of pulled up as we've done our little movements. So that will usually be something that we'll stitch over. And yes, this thread will have been cut because you will have been restarting it. So let's just do that to simulate what we've got so far, and that we can see that restarting it is not going to be any problem at all. So I'm going to go ahead and push the start button. If you want, you could use your foot control to take those first couple stitches. Since it does not cut, I am going to stop stop it. Maybe even lift the presser foot just a little bit so you can see I can come right in here. I want to get a nice close cut with my curved embroidery scissors, and then you can see that the overlap is not even noticed at all once you restart a design. So it's not hard. You can move, if you kind of got started on a color that wasn't just perfect, you might find yourself just backing up and starting from the beginning of the actual color and restitching over what you've already done from the very first stitch.